Welcome back to SmackDown Vs Raw 2007 GM Mode. I am your host, attackslug. Taboo Tuesday, aka Taboo Sunday, was a pretty good show last time with a 4-4-4 life, 4.5 brother in that business. And it did pretty good and got us a $500,000 extra in our fans and a couple $100K in our budget, which is fine, but obviously there are a ways to go on this playthrough, and the next big pay-per-view is Survivor Series, which is a co-branded deal. And I don't know how it's going to hash out. Is it going to be Team Raw versus Team SmackDown? Maybe. And at that point, why even set up any new rivalries when it's mere weeks away? Which means, on the roster, I know that Bam Bam wanted a shot at a title. And I wonder, is Bam Bam a contender for the world title, which is once again being held by The Game? Let's check on the Power 25, I believe, has that information for me. If I say over on Raw, Bam Bam is indeed the #1 contender for... Wait, I thought Triple H won it back. Wait, hold on a minute, playa. I am confused. We have not finished up 4 of these rivalries, and they should end on the show today, but that's just free stars for me, so I'm going to run these 4 matches. So the problem, of course, is going to be fatigue, and that means that Ray should be sitting himself in catering, as should Triple H. Umaga, yeah, kinda. I wanted to trade him and it didn't really work, but guess what? You're still working Dude Love on the show today. My bad. These things happen. Have mercy. But otherwise, in morale, the only one unsatisfied is Bam Bam Bigelow. Booker T wants to win. Carlito wants a shot. Nah. JBL wants to win. Melina wants to win. Austin is still hurt. And Umaga wants a shot. And normally, I would say, all right, go for those tag team titles. But again, not today. And they aren't unsatisfied as of yet. So that can wait. We have 3 Raws until Survivor Series in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. That's dangerous. Who's getting screwed? This show, however, means our World Championship will be not Triple H, but instead Bam Bam Bigelow, the Beast from the East, is... Bro, why does the Power 25 say that Cactus Jack is the champion? If I look at the roster in my champions, Triple H is champion. If I look at the Power 25, Triple H is not the champion. So what's the point if it lags a week behind of what I'm currently trying to do on the show today? That just seems stupid. How would you otherwise determine a contender? And so that means instead we're going to throw Bam Bam in a 3-way with John Cena and Edge. I am keeping my promise to have Triple H sit in catering and rest up. So here we go. Vacate your main event, and then instead it will be an IC title matchup, and it will be a triple threat endeavor. Edge versus Bam Bam versus the champion, John Cena. Lock it in. That works fine. Match number 5 will be our tag teams one last time. So that is still an ongoing rivalry. And so Book and JBL want that win in the worst way versus the Rob and Bob connection. Tag team titles, baby. And yes, it will be Umaga facing off against Dude Love, won last time. And it will be Melina versus Trish in the never-ending rivalry. And so that should be the 1, 2, 3, 4 rivalries. We still have 2 matches not available, and Ray is sitting home. Triple H is sitting home. We don't have Cactus in a current rivalry, which means Cactus can fight somebody here that is not currently booked on this show, and that would be Carlito. And our first match, we're going to leave blank. We're going to lose some fans. We're going to hopefully gain some cash. And promo-wise, right? Do I hype up Survivor Series? Does that really matter at this point? Can we give some interview space to somebody here? And that somebody is Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? And number 2 on the promos, let's do some merchandise. And so only 61K on this card. It's not going to be a good Raw, but it should earn us money, and it should gain back some stamina for my top talent on this brand. So that's the plan here, and it should also wrap up 1, 2, 3, 4 of those rivalries. And so we lock things in, we accept our fate. It is what it's going to be. Let's see what the deal is. Cactus and Carlito in your opening contest. Cactus Jack, as he should, wins that match. Melina and Trish, Women's World Title. Trish gets the win and Melina stays salty. Dude Love versus Umaga. It is Dude Love Have Mercy. And your tag team titles. And new JBL gets his win and is hopefully less salty on that. And your main event, can Bam Bam capture the IC title? No. Edge wins the match, the ultimate opportunist. Which brings us to the fan take for SmackDown. 170K, a 4-star Raw, and a 4-star SmackDown. Trade declined continually. They just don't want that. Now, we're almost down to 6 million again. And it's 3.99 for SmackDown. Let's check on the rosters. Is anybody back in action? Look at that cash in the bank. Love to see it because we have some more contracts to deal with. So, speaking of contracts though, Mickie James, I'm not as concerned. I would want to trade Umaga and it hasn't worked yet. So, that's a problem. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 after that. That can wait. But more importantly, 1 week for Cena and 1 week for Stone Cold Steve Austin. So 1 more show for a minor and 1 more show for a grand return of the Rattlesnake on this program. Also, Bam Bam. He wants the world title. That's a problem. Melina wants to win. I can manage that on the show today. And Umaga also wants some gold. Let me check the fatigue. And Triple H can indeed defend against Bam Bam on this show. That can happen as long as he is a contender for that world title. It should be fine. And wide open, I don't see a reason to do them until after Survivor Series. So 2 more shows of nonsense. And honestly, still, I would like to trade Umaga in the worst way, but 83.74 has been an issue. SmackDown has re-signed the Nature Boy for 13 weeks and 24 on Perfect. I would love to take that away from them and take their money, but I feel like it's not going to work. Let's try it 1 more time here with Umanga and see what they say. Trade declined. A full recovery for Bobby Lashley and his knee. Yeah, they just don't want to trade. It's going to be an ongoing problem with unsatisfied talent. I don't know what else to do. I could try 1 more time with a double trade here. Umaga and yours truly for that Nature Boy. Woo! Trade declined. Bro, apparently I screwed them on enough trades where they just don't want to trade anymore. That's a problem for me with my talent and my fatigue levels and all of that. But 2 more Raws until that pay-per-view. Which means instead of this main event, we're changing it to be for that world title. And we're changing it to be a singles matchup. And Bam Bam challenging the game. Even though they're both heels. Please work. Not in contention. I gave him a shot at the IC title. He didn't win it. He's still upset. Let's check on the results. 2.5, 2.5, 3, 4, 4, 4. And Raw was 3, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 4. So Bam Bam dropped and is now actually in contention for the IC title and not the world title, according to this deal here. So Edge versus Bam Bam. Even though they're both heels, is a thing that I could do, or I could just rerun that triple threat affair in a different gimmick, depending on the fatigue involved with my talent. So, who should sit home on this show? Honestly, Bam Bam should sit home, but instead, I will put him in a ladder match. Triple threat ladder match for Edge, Cena, and Bam Bam. And my tag team titles, now held by Booker T and JBL, will defend against Umaga and Carlito, who both want title opportunities. They're not in contention. That sucks. That means instead we take the crazy opportunity of putting a fatal four-way main event for that IC title, no longer being hardcore, just a straight-up fatal four-way, and we add in the Bulldozer Umaga. On his pop, shouldn't even be here, but that's what it is. The tag team titles continue to happen, but instead, it'll be on a ladder. Dude Love will face Triple H, Melina and Trish, Cactus and Carlito, and Ray versus yours truly, which should be a terrible affair, but it's a full card now. Promo number 1, let's do some advertising. And number 2, sure, let's hype up the pay-per-view of Survivor Series. Now, before I run this show, I should at least look at my contractual obligations on my roster, just in case there's anybody that's going to be done like this week. All right, just Mickie James, honestly, that's fine. And can we use Mickie James to get a win for Melina is the question. So if we go and do that instead and have it be a handicap deal there, and maybe Melina will get her much needed win. But that is under 100K on the show cost, and honestly, let's just see how things go. But also, I didn't look at my fan support, so yeah, up and then down, it happens. And I can't imagine this show doing all that much better, but we'll see. You never know. You never freaking know. Let's freaking go. Confirm the card. Oh boy. Myself and Ray, I would assume that Ray wins, and he should. Cactus and Carlito. Carlito wins. Good for him. Trish, please lose the match. And of course she wins. Ultimate satisfaction. Dude Love, Triple H, all of those faces of Foley, and Triple H wins that matchup. Booker and JBL retain those tag team titles, climbing the ladder of greatness. And your main event fatal four-way. Does the Beast from the East walk out as your IC champion? No. Instead, Umaga, who has the lowest popularity, wins the title. Okay. Minor injury to Rob Van Dam. Fan change. SmackDown 220. A 3-star Raw. Terrible. 5.79. 4.21. But we now have 2.7 million in our budget, and that was kind of the plan here for our contract situations that are an issue. But also, guess what? Stone Cold is back. Minor injury for RVD, okay, 4 weeks on him. John Cena, 100% recovered, and Umaga has an expiring contract. So, let's look at the reports of SmackDown. 2, 3, 3.5, 3.5, 4, and 4. Raw, 2, 3, 3, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. Not 1 4 in there, which is indeed a problem. And that bump from Taboo Tuesday did not last nearly long enough. But also, did that show regain me some stamina on the roster? Bam Bam! I'm trading you because I gave you a shot at the belt it said you were good to challenge for. If you aren't a contender, I can't put you in that position. Meanwhile, Carlito, yeah, okay. Melina, I know, I'm trying. I tried. I made it 2-on-1. It didn't work. Fatigue is whatever. Contractually. Umaga, Bam Bam. I need to trade Bam Bam, because what the hell? 85 and 90. 89, 89, Roddy Piper. What do you say? Just when you thought you had the answers, he changes the questions. Trade accepted. Finally, they traded me for something here. So, welcome to Raw, Roddy Piper. I did not even look how long is his contract. 5 weeks. Just let me trade Umaga for Mr. Perfect, please. I'm trading you my current IC champion. Does that count for anything on this show at all? Nope. Even if I throw in the bonus of myself, who is obviously not great, but there's that. Nope. How about Carlito for Super Crazy? How's that for a trade? What do you say? Declined. What about Carlito for the Big Show? Well, trade accepted. Hell yeah. Okay. Now then, let's re-sign the IC champion, I guess. So that's a thing we can do here. 187. Boy. Bobby Lashley, stick around. 216. Dude Love, stick around for 218. Now, the minor injury to Rob Van Dam. Where's he at in our 89, 87? The Dead Man is 89, 85. How would that sound if I traded you Rob Van Dam for the Phenom? What do you say, SmackDown? Trade accepted. Welcome to Raw, Dead Man. You done it now. Okay, that's enough trading for right now. I think I fixed some things here on the roster in terms of people who are unsatisfied outside of this one, and I can fix that manually on the show tomorrow. But Steve Austin is back, Jack, and nobody is injured at all. So that means some work to do heading into Survivor Series on the show next time. I am your host, attackslug. More videos right here. I'll see you then, and I'm out.